Hey guys, last time I talked about the Preddy case and before what happened 11 days before his death. This time I want to talk about another thing, even more important, I believe, because the range of the issue is bigger, not just the one person, but many incidents in this country. I think let's start from Philadelphia and also similar to in Minneapolis. The police, Phillies and Minneapolis, they both passed the local law, basically, especially the package in Philadelphia, basically the ice out. There's a bunch of issues that talk about the mask required, they talk about the judicial warranties required. I heard some report saying that in Minneapolis, some local police basically arresting ICE agent, or I'm not sure if it's arresting, but maybe at least giving a ticket if they jaywalking, those kind of thing. Those petty violation. But that meantime, I'm kind of worried because if this trend continue, then inevitably we will get to the more dangerous confrontation, especially when both sides are armed. Okay, and they are authorized to use the power within the range of limit. So the way to go, obviously, I'm not a big fan for local police force to confront the federal agent, especially when they are doing their job, because that's really dangerous. And also, it's kind of like it's not you're not in your jurisdiction. You might issue a ticket for traffic, right? But that's just not if even for issuing a traffic ticket while they're doing their job, it's still subject to debate. So I think the real way out is for the Congress, at least for the local federal judges, to make some decisions, make some rulings. Here is the one that I found that the Chicago District Judge Sarah. Uh, Ellis, I believe that's her name, and she had a ruling last year in Chicago, basically saying, you know, um, the masks, the warranty, those kind of thing. And the latest thing that I learned is that a circular judge of appeal, there's a panel that basically says that, well, Sarah's ruling is too broad. It's basically violating the principle of separation of power. I personally disagree with those judges because for three things. Number one, uh, the court is reacting to the appeal, to the lawsuit. The law is passive, so there's no evidence to show that the Sarah Elliott is trying to override the federal manual of the operation because she's just reacting to the request, legal request, legal adversary. Number two is that it's clearly it's just only subjected to the local jurisdiction, like in the Chicago area. So you can't just say, you need a nationwide. We have a nationwide crisis, so we can act any way we want. So that doesn't apply. And the even number, the most important thing is that it's basically holding the existing laws. Let's look at this way. The first point I want to make, the overall point, is that the while the law can be looks like a debt, like within, especially over a short period of time, because laws, the beauty of law is to maintain the stable, you know, relatively stable. But the rule of law is very much alive. I really say that means that the one important that idea is not it's not new. I think the one of the doctrines, legal doctrine, is that the law does not apply to abstractions. Law applies to the fact. So the fact is right now the fact is that we have a federal uh, executive branch of government under President Trump. You know, President Trump himself not even pretend to be holding a neutralized, unifying stand. He's openly, he sounds like, that's what, I really think that this country is it's worse off with Trump in the White House because we have never seen, uh, maybe to my limited knowledge, that we have never seen any president that is so openly standing on a fraction of a population, as if that the government is funded by only those people. That's just I don't think that's right. So I think given this status quo, we really it's up to the legal division to do their job. So that's another same logic that I believe that the separation of power does not mean that you hold your legal opinions uh, only halfway to it, even though you believe you're right, based on the fact you believe is right. Separation of power basically fundamentally means different branches of government do their job and do their job very well. So even if that that means that the disagreement with the different among different branches of government. So given this case, I really believe that the legal faction legal division should not hold its comprehensive ruling, only like a ruling half of it, because separation of power over breaching the argument, it's just not the case, because the separation of power means that you consider the executive branch of government is doing something, and I got a request, legal request for our opinion, I will not hold up. I'm not saying that I will have to worry whether my ruling, my opinion, will offend the executive branch of it, of the government. That's not the way the check and balance works. So that's my central ideas. The other idea that I am thinking is big is that now the DOJs and the DHS, they always talk about the supremacy of federal executive law enforcement. However, we have to keep that in mind, that my basic idea is that with more power, with more protection, comes with more responsibility. So that applies to the federal agent. So right now we have a league. We all know that given the supremacy clause immunity, everybody knows that the federal agency uh, and the agent, they have an extra layer of protection. That's a privilege, not a pass, right? However, with that privilege, we also have comes with the responsibilities. The more power you have, the more responsibility you have. That idea. I don't think Trump will never get it. He believed that more power. If I have more power, why not use it? It would be stupid to not use it. However, you have to take that into account, that the balance of power, privilege, and responsibility. So now, what Sarah Ellis, her ruling is basically saying that we are bring the federal agency coming to the same conduct of a rule of conduct. You know, Obviously that eventually it's up to the Congress to modify the legal framework, so we will have a hold more federal agency accountable. Just to think of it, this reality is that a lot of people responded to be recruited by ICE. Because the package is it's a big package. We'll talk about the $100,000, and then you expect everybody recruited by ICE to be fully professional, to be holding themselves accountable. No way. This you'll be dreaming. So that's why you really have to This has never happened before because this country is so politically polarized. And then with the executive branch not pretending to be unifying. Um, so it's very likely, it's only natural for the executive branch, for Washington, for the White House to use the federal forces, and then using that Supreme Clause immunity as the shield to protect the local prosecution. But that's why you really need to have to you know, bring this federal and local police to the same standard of conduct. That's not a politicized argument. It's really the spirit of rule of law. We talk about the First Amendment. We talk about the Fifth Amendment. We talk about the Tenth Amendment. That should apply to everybody, if not more strict. If you believe me, I would argue that with more power, you should come more with more restraint. But at least let's forget it. At least that we have a level playing field. What you ask for the police, local police, you should ask for the federal law enforcement agent. That's my argument. Let's stop here.